Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I'm here today with Justin Krane. Justin Krane is a frequent guest on MSNBC, a money strategist for business owners. He helps you understand the money side of business. Justin isn't about cutting back and living a frugal life. Justin is all about getting the shoes, doing sushi, and living the best life today and saving for the future. Justin is the author of the book, Money, You Got This. He shares his everyday, crazy, funny life stories and gives you a money lesson. Justin is also a certified financial planner professional. He has been featured on CBS, Fox Business News, and MSNBC. I'm very excited to welcome Justin Krane to the show.
Thanks, Linda. Nice to be here.
Awesome. Well, I have been really excited to ask you. I've been reading your book, Money, You Got This, all about the titles because they're funny and they're interesting. Originally, when I was diving into the book, because I'm all about sweat, of course, I'm about empowerment, and money is empowering and liberating, I read in your book. That really perked my interest. So how can you help us be, as women, more liberated and empowered with money?
I think it starts with prosperity thinking. Like, you really have to think that you can create and manifest the financial life that you want to, by taking action in what you're doing. And I think a lot of women business owners are wearing a lot of hats. They might be a mom, there probably could be a wife, right? There's a lot of different things that they're doing and serving a lot of people. And I think sometimes they take care of everyone else, but not themselves, right? And it's like you want to please everyone. But I think it's really important to put on your own oxygen mask first. And I think that's what a lot of women business owners are doing and want more of. They want to have their own identity in their business and are looking for, once they're in the right mindset, then it's about what are the right strategies to do that. So I think the first thing is to be a prosperity thinker, to really believe that you can create the life that you want to by taking action, not just by like sitting and expecting the money to fall out of the sky. Like, I'm not going to come on here and say like I'm on my white unicorn eating strawberry ice cream, telling everyone that money will just come. It won't. You have to be smart about it. That's what I'm trying to teach.
I love that. Well, I know a lot of us fall into the trap of mindset, and you talk a lot, change mindset to thinking prosperity, abundance, begin to rewire that thinking in our brain. And can you kind of tell us the difference between scarcity and prosperity mindset?
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example. I mean, the quick answer is poverty thinking is lack. It's never enough. It's not going to work out. And just like the gray lens glasses versus the white glass frame where I could look through it and believe. So here's one. So if you're running a business, I think it's really important to get your head out of the sand with the numbers and the money in your business. And as soon as I say that, there's two types of energy that will happen. One type of person will just be like, "Oh my God, I don't want to deal with it." Like,
right.
You're in health, right? So when people don't want to get on the scale, if they don't know how much they weigh, it's not a problem. They don't know. But as soon as you get on the scale, you know how much you weigh, and then you're like, okay, I really have to figure out what am I going to do to make it better. If you don't know about the problem, it's not yours. So think of how you're going to deal with the money in your business. Are you going to get on the money scale or not? Prosperity thinking is going to be like, okay, I'm not a numbers person, but I believe that I can figure this out. That's why I have my little wine microphone. This is literally a bottle of wine. For those you can't see, this is a bottle of wine. I'm talking into the wine microphone, and I'm basically saying, if you think numbers stink and you can't deal with them and you get overwhelmed, whatever, the prosperity thinker will say, okay, I'm going to have a glass of wine. I'm going to figure this out. I don't have to do it all by myself. I can find someone who can teach this to me and make it clear for me. And you know what? I got it. I got this stuff. I can figure it out. I'm going to start with step one. I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to have another glass of wine, and then I'm going to go from there. Now, I'm not just saying you got to drink wine. It could be coffee, or it could be meditating, whatever it is that you do. But the prosperity thinker will not hide. The prosperity thinker will embrace the challenge because she thinks and he thinks that they can do it.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. So you don't want to be avoidant, which is a lot of what people do, where they don't want to face reality, which is the same in my business. People don't want to face that they've gained all this weight. They don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to have to face it because then they have to deal with it. But I say peel that Band-Aid off, right? You got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, one step at a time. How do I get started into this losing weight? And it's the same thing. I notice so many parallels. It's the same thing with money, right? You have to look at what you have and that to be able to work with it.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really love some of these titles in your book. And one of them I want to dive into, which I promised everyone I would, is why men should not dye their hair.
Oh,
how does this relate to business?
Oh my God. You know what? I don't remember the connection because there's so many of these chapters and all of that, but let me give you my updated version of why men should not dye their own hair. You need someone on the outside to help you who specializes in something. If you try to do every single thing yourself, like I know a bunch of guys, they'll have their hair like black, like, you know, black or brown, and then they'll have a goatee and it's like gray. I'm like, what do I even begin with that, right? So, or they'll color their hair and they'll miss a spot and then it's like purple, gray, and brown, like it's ridiculous. So you can't see the hump on your own back. Guys, if you're trying to color your, by the way, I don't color my hair. I'm like major gray, but like if you're trying to do your own hair, like I'm sorry, go hire someone who can specialize in it. If you're trying to get ahead in something, hire a specialist because you can't see half of the opportunities that are right under your nose if you have someone that can help you with it, who specializes.
Plus, who has all that time anyway, right? You can't do everything all yourself.
Correct.
That's something I've been correcting in business, is not wearing the 17 hats, which you talk about.
Yeah.
Not trying to be everything, and hiring someone that could actually do what I don't do well better, right?
Yeah. Why try to be good? If you like, here's the deal. If you hate public speaking, like you hate it, then don't speak. If you love it, then do it. Why not do what you're good at, then try to increase your weaknesses? So much in life we're taught about, oh, you know, you're bad at this, you got to get better. Like, let's play to our strengths and let's hire or delegate or farm out our weaknesses to someone who loves that.
Well, I love that. But did you guys hear what he said? Focus on your strengths. And you know what? I think when you do that, a lot of times your weaknesses begin to disappear somewhat because you are focusing on your strong suits. It's just like when I go to Fitness America, I'm not a gymnast, so it's probably not a good idea for me to try doing a triple backflip. I should do what I do well. That's all people are going to really see, is what I'm doing well on that stage. And I think it's a lot with life. And this leads me to my next question, which I love dearly. I do spray tan. So why should Jan Brady get a regular spray tan?
Oh my God. Well, do you remember that episode where she gets the wig? She gets that like black wig and it like totally doesn't go because her eyebrows.
I know all these episodes. I'm actually friends with Bobby Brady, but I used to watch all this. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Like, I think the whole spray tan thing is like, if you love spray tans, great. But sometimes it doesn't go like with the right mix. And, you know, the topic of that chapter is really like, some of these questions that I ask are to really like stop people in their tracks and be like, should Jan Brady get a spray tan? Like, what's up with that? So I forget what this one is about, but the whole thing is that you have to be congruent with yourself. You have to be congruent with yourself, with what you want, with your life, your money life, and how you're using your business to fund your goals. I can go off on a massive tangent on that, but I just want to say this. You want your business to serve your life. You don't want your life to serve your business. And if you can set up systems and strategies for your business to pay you, then you're on to something.
My business coach always says, and I'll never forget it, systems are sexy, babe.
That's right.
I'm like, that's stuck in my mind because I'm like, okay, once you get a system, then you can really be cooking with gas and you can really be efficient. And I think that's what kills a lot of small business owners, is just not having any systems in place. How can we get better systems in place? What are some of your suggestions just off the top of your head?
Hire someone who's a serious genius in systems. Like literally, it's the same thing like Facebook ads. Like I would rather hire someone to do Facebook ads than try to figure it out myself. So in terms of systems, go Google or go into a Facebook group and say, who's amazing at systems? I mean, just that. Like I actually just shot a video 2 hours ago on a system that I use to teach people on how to run a profitable business, right? So go find a system that you need and have someone teach it to you, or find someone that's an expert in what you need. Don't try to figure it out on yourself. Like, who cares about the ego? Like literally, go find someone.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you do, Linda,
if
you're looking for a systems person or a system?
Oh,
do you try to figure it out on your own, or do you just go find someone who's good at it?
A lot of times what I have been doing is I just find somebody that's already doing something well that I want done for me. And I ask them either, are they doing it themselves or who do they use? I get a recommendation because I don't want to go through a bunch of people that aren't any good. I want the right person for the job. And so that's kind of what I do.
Awesome.
So, so you say hire the best person, like, and I totally agree because like I was listening to you on, I don't know what podcast it was, but you were talking about if you're going to go play a Super Bowl game, you want to know what players, that's what it was. You want to know what players you have around you. You don't want to go out with no confidence in your players.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think it's a big thing about having a good team, and the team can be virtual. You don't have to have like 20 employees. Although I do think there's a big trend for business owners where they're farming everything out to virtual assistants, and a lot of times business owners need someone in their office with them that works just for them, who's an employee.
Okay, yeah, I was really kind of finding that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think the trend is everyone's like, get a VA, do that. Like, yes, it's totally good. Like hire people to help you. But like, there's nothing wrong with having employees. There really isn't.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that. Because, I know for myself, I started with the virtual assistants, but then pretty soon that's almost like another job for you because you have to be constantly seeing what they're doing and telling them what they should be doing. And if you hire someone in your office, maybe you could just have them directly connecting you, right?
Yeah, totally.
Why should people save or not save for retirement? What is your philosophy on this?
Oh my God, I love this question. I'm gonna call bull you know what on this one. Every personal finance guru out there, by the way, I manage $100 million. I'm a CFP, like I'm in this space. But a lot of these gurus say that, all right, don't get your cup of coffee. Because it's $5 a day. And if you took that $5 a day and invested it in whatever, when you're 85, you would have $42 billion, right? And I'm like, okay, great. So I'm 85 with $42 billion. What about the 40 or 50 years of me not enjoying that cup of coffee, not taking that vacation, not getting a massage, not getting my nails done, not doing sushi, whatever it is? There's nothing wrong with spending some money on yourself, because if that's the case, you will be happier, you'll be more productive, and if you're more productive in business, you'll make more money. You can take that money that you make and invest it for your future. So what am I really saying? I'm saying it's balance. I'm not asking you to spend all of the money on shoes and rack up credit card debt. And I'm not asking you to save all of your money when you're 85. I'm asking you to create a balance. But have you ever heard of anyone go, like, literally say it's okay to spend $5 a day on coffee? Look, no one is saying
But
that.
I was an instant fan of you when you said, go ahead and buy the coffee and buy the shoes. I was like,
Yes.
okay, I have to read
So
more.
I've run retirement plan projections for people. And if you spend the $5 a day, you know what happens? You have to work like 2 or 3 more years. So would you trade 30 years of coffee for 3 more years of work if you're doing what you love? Like, of course.
Yeah, I want to enjoy my life as I
Yes.
go along.
Yes, yes. And there's nothing wrong with making some serious money in business. Like, literally, there's nothing wrong with that.
Wow, now you're talking a language. So I know a lot of people are afraid to talk about money, or they have this, I don't know, they get stuck and they get these blocks in their mind. Do you believe in people having blocks, and how do we clear like our money blocks with the way we're thinking around money, about money, making money?
I do believe people have blocks. I'm going to give you a very short answer because it's consistent with what I've said in the past on the show. Go find someone who is amazing at money mindset and go hire them or read their stuff and learn about it. One of the guys that I think is great, this guy Rick Kahler, Kahler, is a whole money mindset guy. I've been in therapy for 8 years, once a week for 8 years, working on myself. A little bit of it is money mindset, but there's nothing wrong with working on yourself. The most successful business owners will work on themselves. And how do you do that? Various different ways. Finding people that have mastered it, hiring people, paying them, making a decision, being aware, all of that kind of stuff.
And I know a lot of us, we leap out and we start to grow, but then we sometimes become afraid. How do we kind of step back from being afraid of making mistakes?
I believe that you have to fail all the time. I mean, I'm failing all of the time, screwing up on all sorts of stuff. I mean, are you doing stuff? What do you think about that? Are you in that camp?
Yeah, with mistakes, I really just think they're lessons, and it's all how you look at it. If you look at them and you learn from them, then how's that failure?
Yeah, I mean, totally. My first 35, 40 years of life, I was like, oh, people are going to hate me. They're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm a sham. They're not going to like me, blah, blah, blah. What was I thinking?
So, because I think that's one of the biggest things then with investing. And why should we invest in ourselves and invest in our business? What are the reasons that you would give people that they should definitely be investing and not holding back?
God, that's such a big question. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's great. The key thing really is that human capital. Human capital is basically the definition of what are your strengths and skill sets, and how can you leverage those to make money in business. So what I believe is that you have to invest in things that will make your strengths even better, so that you can grow and excel and all of that kind of stuff. So many people will go out and I don't know, will invest in other things, but not themselves. And I think there's a big relationship. By the way, I am not a mindset expert. I'm not. I talk about mindset a lot, but I don't think I'm a mindset expert.
You told me, I mean, actually in your book, you said you're not an expert. You're just not, you don't claim to be an expert. And I love that about you.
I have no idea. And by the way, my book, it's not a best-selling book. It's not New York Times, Amazon. I didn't do any. People have bought a
It should be. It should. You guys should go out and get his book because it's amazing. I love the book.
Yeah, people have bought it and they love it. But like, here's the deal. Where am I going with this? I'm going with this is that, what was your question? Your question was, why should people invest in themselves? Here's what's really going on with that question. Something has to do with self-worth and confidence. If you're not investing in yourself, my guess is you probably don't think you're worth it, or you have some serious blocks around investing in yourself for your potential. Why? I have no idea. No idea. No clue. But there's a connection between self-worth, confidence, and belief.
I love that. I love that so much because I talk all the time about women investing in themselves, and that I've never had one come to me and say, I regret that. I regret investing in myself, Linda. Never.
For
So
sure.
I think that's also just taking that leap of faith. And I love your analogy with the monkey bars swinging from the bars. Can you tell the audience just a little bit of that?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, this is not my idea. Like literally, I read this poem. It's called The Trapeze.
Oh,
and
I love that
by
poem.
this, do you know it?
Yeah.
By Danon something. I don't know, by Danon. And by the way, my son did the monkey bars, and when he did that, I'm like, oh my God, I remember this parable. When you go from bar to bar, the bars are like they're made up in your mind in life. These bars, these like weird bars that you're grabbing from one to the next. And really where life happens is when you're swinging in between one bar to the next, and you're kind of like just in space. You haven't really reached that other bar, but you've let go of the other bar. And that transition is really where life happens. It's really where you're taking risk, you're enjoying things, you're living, you're doing, you're expressing, you're experimenting, you're running with it, you're rolling, you're doing it. That is what the monkey bars are all about. And I think that a lot of us need to do more of that, and need to be in communities that support that.
And it's a little bit of playtime too, right? That's important.
Yes, for sure.
Now, I know you know Brendan Burchard, and I met him at the Summit of Greatness, and you were talking about his questions that he always asks, his 3 questions. Can you do you know them by heart? Or okay. Can you
yeah, did I live, did I love, did I matter?
Yeah. Why do you think those 3 questions are important for us to ask ourselves?
I think as we get older, we begin to see our mortality, and we see, okay, well, did I do really what I want to do? I only have one life. Did I really do things? And though they're just powerful, they're really, really powerful. In fact, I even ask 2 more, like that are even deeper than those. And I'll ask them to you and to your audience. If you had 5 to 10 years to live and didn't know when you would die, will die. If you have 5 to 10 years to live and you don't know when you're going to die, what would you do?
If I had 5 to 10 years, what would I do? Oh my gosh, I would live my life to the fullest, and I wouldn't waste my time doing things I didn't
whatever
like.
Those. So as we go deeper and explore and find out, like, what are those things?
Yeah.
Then where someone like a financial advisor comes in is we begin to give financial advice that would deliver those things to someone. Right? That's my angle on asking those questions, is like, okay, well, if now you know what you really want to do, let's be intentional with your money and your business to fund that. And then the last question is, if you were going to, if you're going to die tomorrow, who did you not get to be? What did you really not get to do? And what kind of regrets would you have? I mean, these are big, big questions. And they freak you out a little bit, but they really get you, like, they just get you thinking.
Well, I love it, because I always want people to think about how they want to feel. Think about how you want to feel, and you're having them think about, the end. What do you wish you would have done? Which is like your bucket list, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I love that. And I think my last question, which was kind of where I began on your book, was when your life just changed on a dime completely. It was like your thinking and everything changed. What was that surrounding, and why did you have such a shift in mindset?
The most important time was for me was 9/11, and I really didn't know it at the time. It was maybe a year or two after. Looking back, I was like, okay, that was pretty much a big turning point for me. I was not in New York City, so my experience with 9/11 is nowhere near what it is for others who are there, and I respect that, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that. I just happened to be in New York. I worked at the World Trade Center like about 7 years earlier on the 80th floor at Morgan Stanley. And had I decided to stay in New York, I mean, that could have been me. Like that, I get chill. I mean, it could have been me seeing the pictures of moms with their kids holding the signs of like, where's my husband? And, it was a very, very, just a hard day for me. And it really made me think a lot about, what do I want? And, where am I with my life and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I love how you said in the book, I don't know why this broke up for a second, you disappeared, but I love how you said in the book that it just changed your mindset on, pretty much that you could live the life you want.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people just don't realize that they can have the life they want. Yeah. Where can they reach you on social media and find more of you and get your book?
Well, there's so many places. I mean, my last name is Krane. Just type in Justin, Krane, and you can connect with me there or message me or whatever. If you're a business owner, go to cashflowgift.com. That is a website where you can learn a lot more about really how to run a profitable business and have the money to show for how hard you're working. So those are the two places, cashflowgift.com, and find me on Facebook, wherever.
And for your YouTube video you mentioned earlier, is that available?
The video. If you hop on my list, go to cashflowgift.com, you'll eventually get what the video, the system video on money, you'll eventually get it.
Thank you so much for coming on the Sisterhood of Sweat and spending your time with us today. And I know you have a busy schedule and you've got to run. So I just want to thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.